Whoa, 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 whoa. Damn right, I'm a UPK nigga. Straight out of one West, no contest. We the best to the niggas who's living, trying to contend with the stress. Going through the test, no access, cause you oppressed. Slaves, niggas is dying off in waves. Living in dirt, now it's a grave. Niggas cross-talk through the crosswalk or the white chalk over the bodies of roads that you paid. Americans killing us, saying they fearing us. Put the drugs in the hood, now my niggas delirious. Put a gun in my face, or because of my race, click, boom, flash. Put some Skittles and murder my ass. Like a sheep to the slaughter, heart beating harder and harder. Baptized with these words, never dipping in water. So now we pray to the Father. Give strength to the Father that's looking for the marauder. This fucking taking our daughters, nigga, it's wartime. Lights up, nigga, showtime. Got the green light on that ass, yeah, go time. Either boot up, shut up, but get your ass up. Cause we ain't got time to be playing this all fucked up America. Heaven for the thief, hell for the slave. Reaping what you sow, meaning giving back what you gave for a clean slate. You try to imitate, you was always fake. America, every city, state, this is your fate. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America.
Turn on the timeline, giving the rhythm to expose the intricacies of this vibe. Doing mine, I ain't shit, but getting lit is a pastime. So in a minute, I'ma pass out. I hope you get it. If you didn't, you can crash flying. Kinda simple if you feel it past your last line, but it will confuse a bad mind. A damn shame, that's the exact thing. Gonna get your ass fried. Bombs from the sky, rich devil lullaby. Then the nigga fly, hope you got an alibi. Bombs from the sky, rich devil lullaby. Devil missiles high, I can see him from the parking lot. Heaven finna ball out, devils finna fall out. All our warfare, nightmares in the big houses and murdered us for years. And thinking shit was gonna turn around. Pride never learned, this motherfucker burns down. Yelled in them streets, told them to breach. All of you angels bring woe to this beast. You rule for a time, but we play for keeps. I pray to my Father, bring woe to this beast. Remember them times we hung on them trees. All of you nations bow down to your knees. Remember them ships, they brought us in fleets. Fuck they Apollo, bring them the heat. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, whoa, to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America.
God is going to destroy this empire, man. You about to see famine in this place. You think them fires in California is bad? That's just the beginning of what the Lord is about to do. Because you've been evil to the Lord's people. You've been wicked to the Most High's children, man. You've been destructive to the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me tell you something, black man. You got to put on your strength now, man. Put back on your strength and might, black man, because your day is coming. Your day is coming because the Lord is going to bring judgment on this earth.
Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take breath. My soldiers take breath till I'm stand down. Take breath. My soldiers take breath till I'm stand down. Take breath. Now this ain't no movement, this is
Shalom, Yahweh Shim Yahweh Shah Barakathum to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Thumb by Shim Yahweh Shah to the sisters. Isupk Florida, the law class. About to get it going right now. Get your questions ready if you have any. Give everybody a few more minutes to jump into the class and we'll get it going.
I ain't at the die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't at the die to meet the devil.
I remember I was only 13 when I met the demon. Gave me a deuce and a bundle of cocaine. Told me to sell to my people, make sure you keep them fiending. If any try to shoot you, make sure that you leave him leaking. He said,
I'ma hold you down when problems pop up.
how you got me moving this dope? Want me in lockup? He said,
Don't you want the Benz vertible with the top cut?
Yeah.
Stop, bitch, you get in that kitchen, let it rock up. Bitches love the dope boy, especially when it's wop up. I know you know
who
Ron.
the plug from by the block up?
I'll tell you a little secret, make sure that you keep your mouth shut. Ron got a Lexus, crib in Philly and Texas. Trips to the Bahamas, just got a whip for his mama. He fucking up them commas, be honest, he seeing decent though.
I hear you, but I just seen Ryan about a week ago. In fact, he ain't looking too good. His knees is kind of slow. I asked him why the struggle. He got stuck up for his bundle, but them 6 hollow tips in his legs what made him crumble.
Thinks he got a house and mama is living good.
Said the feds took it all. He right back in the hood. I see you try to play me. You gave us crack in the 80s. Made us abort our babies and making hoes out our ladies. I know you got me gravy, but Satan, you must be crazy. It's gonna take more than them cars when to amaze me. I seen niggas shoot for the stars, but being lazy. Never get their head at the clouds, so you don't faze me.
I guarantee that you gon' regret it. Remember I said it.
Nah, you could dead it.
What you saying? I can't win.
Nah, devil, nice try. So until we meet again.
I ain't at the die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't at the die to meet the devil. I ain't religious or superstitious, but we've been getting fucked and put to the side like a mistress. Police patrolling why? Because prison became a business. They murder one of ours and they start talking about forgiveness. We think that it's alright because we got public assistance. If this ain't hell, dog, what is this? Where was all lives mattered when they killed Osama? There was no peace talk like the Dalai Lama. Bush dropping bombs saying he gon' bring the drama. They got justice, man, they even caught the Boston bomber. But when we ride, they send the military in armor. When we fight oppression, then our people die a martyr. You reap what you sow, some people call it karma. When Christ return, y'all gon' get this harvest like a farmer. Don't tell me don't bring up the past no more. They still trying to settle the score with a side of Shakur. I changed my life and I'm just trying to live life right. But at night I look behind me and see flashing lights, patting me down. You got nothing that's poking me right. I don't smoke or push pills, I gave up my vice. So Mr. Officer, why you wanna take my life? And your honor, why you gave our homeboy's life? I've been wondering why you shot our homeboy twice. Pussy with a gun screaming out that he got a knife. He came from Habibi's spot, it was chicken and rice. Shit's trife, I'm just giving visuals like Skype. Ask Trayvon, Mike Brown, Akai Gurley, Eric Garner, Sean Bell, Philando, Alton Sterling, Jaquan McDonald. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. I ain't at the die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't at the die to meet the devil. I ain't at the die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. I pray for the demise of the devil. Lord knows I despise every devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil and said, I pray you die, every devil.
Yeah. What's going on, Israel? Isupk, Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're under commanding General Yohana and not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. Since '69, the Israelite School of UPK has been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people that they are God's chosen, okay? And we're going to continue to teach that tonight. Okay, so tonight is the Florida's law class, teaching that the law is still valid when it comes to Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The law is the one essential thing in the earth that we should be doing. Okay, there's nothing more important than keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of our power, our God. Okay? So keeping the law is what? Keeping the law for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, okay, is what? What does that mean to keep the law? Okay, so we got in the chat, we got Darsha. Shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemal Athab Hashem Yahweh Shai. Just Art and Paint. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Athab Hashem Yahweh Shai. Shayara. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Athab Hashem Yahweh Shai. All these hardcore sisters in the chat, always in the class, holding it down with a brother. Okay. I look forward to seeing everybody at the Passover. It's going down, okay? Who else we got up in here? Chance Zimmerman, young man Chance. Okay, should be coming up on a name soon. Most High in Christ. Hardcore young man Carvel. Shalom Warrior. How about Shem Yahshua?
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua
Christ. Okay. Good to have you in the class. Being diligent. Okay, Most High in Christ. So tonight is the law class. Okay. Keeping God's laws is essential to his chosen people, the people that he chose. Okay, that's the commandment, to keep his laws. Okay, Princess Ra'ayah, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shemal Athab Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, he gave those laws to Blacks, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. He gave the laws to us, which, you know, if you think about it, Carvel, that, I mean, that is such a privilege to have the Most High God of the universe to choose your family, and you're in that family, to choose you to serve him. Okay? To choose you to serve him. He could have chose, like the scriptures say, he could have chose the rocks. He could have chose rocks to serve him. Stones. But he chose you. He chose Carvel. He chose Nishak. He chose all these brothers and sisters in the chat. He chose us to serve him. And if we serve him, guess what? The whole earth will in return have to serve you. That's heavy, man. Like, just the thought of the things that is promised to us as a people, we're not taking advantage of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Con, sir.
We're not taking advantage of the upper hand that the Most High gave us. He gave us the upper hand, and we're not taking advantage of it. And I asked the question a little before you came in. So the question I asked was, keeping God's laws. If you keep God's laws, what are you doing? What are you saying? If you keep God's laws. Bayana, Banyamyan, Shalom Sis, Yahweh Shemal Athan, Bashim Yahweh Shai. Good to have all you sisters in the class, being diligent. You know what I mean? Because listen, if you're not in this class and you're doing something else, you're just going to be, you know what I mean? The fight is going to be that much harder for you to stay in the truth. Once you start to distance yourself from these classes and from the knowledge of the Most High, it becomes more difficult for you to understand what is going on in your life. Okay? So it's very crucial and important that you stay locked in these classes, okay? As much as possible. So anybody can answer the question in the chat or.
Con, sir. It's just you being obedient to God's laws, and
yes,
you know
that is true. That is very true. That you're being obedient by keeping the laws. You're being obedient. Okay, I got Trooper Gobble War. Shalom, brother. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabrakatah. Can you hear me, warrior?
Come on, sir. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim
Christ. Most High Christ.
Shalom, warrior.
Most High Christ.
Shalom,
good to hear your voice. Good to hear his voice. You know, I ain't rode out with you in a minute. We ain't got down, but you know, I look forward to seeing you face to face. Okay,
sir.
Most High Christ. Okay, so we teach that God's laws are still valid, and the most important thing to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. I brought it out last week. I said that we can't get away from God's laws. Blacks, so-called Black people, Hispanic and Native Indians, the 12 tribes, okay, from Judah to Issachar, all 12 tribes in the earth, in the third dimension, we cannot get away from the covenant that we went into. We cannot get away from these laws, statutes, and commandments. And when I say that, I mean this. We got two choices of how to live in the earth. That's the only choice that the Lord gave us. There's no free will. The only free will you have is to keep the laws or not to keep the laws. But here's the thing. If we keep the laws, we're in rulership. If we don't keep the laws, we're in the bottom. We're on the bottom. We're in captivity. And there's no in between. There's no middle ground. You're either on the bottom for not keeping the laws, or you're on top for keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. For Blacks, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, there's no middle ground. There's no in between. No matter how comfortable you try to live in your captivity, you're in captivity. You're speaking another nation's language. You're living, you know what I mean? And you're living their lifestyle. Okay? So there's no getting away from God's laws if you are so-called Hispanic, Native Indian, or, you know, Black, okay? If you are of the 12 tribes, there's no getting away from God's laws. There's no middle ground. You either have life or death. He gave you that choice, okay? That's the choice he gave you. Life or death. One of you troopers tell me, what is life?
Still like it, sir.
Go ahead.
Choosing the commandments.
Right. That's life. And as so having life, you will have rulership. Okay?
God.
Death is obvious to us today. Getting shot by police officers, being hung on trees, being raped, robbed, and murdered. Our women disappear at an alarming rate, and nothing is happening about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Our sisters are disappearing. That's death, man. Living in the ghetto is death. Having no insurance of your life is death. When you leave your house, okay, you are afraid. You don't know if you're going to make it home. Is the oppressor, will he pull me over today? Will I be, you know what I mean, stretched out in the middle of the road? Will I be, you know, going to jail for no reason? Will I get my head cracked? Will I live? That's because we chose death instead of life. We chose not to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So the question was keeping the laws. What was your answer, Carvel? Keeping the law is
being obedient, sir.
being obedient. Yes. And if you're obedient to your God, what are you telling him? What are you saying to your God if you're obedient to him?
You choose life, sir. Right.
So, like, here's the thing, and that's a good way to answer it, because you know you're hearing what I'm saying. But we have to start looking at this Bible practical. You know what I mean? These laws, statutes, and commandments are very practical. Okay. Let's see what. Yes. Chance Zimmerman, you just nailed it. That's what I'm saying. Can y'all see what he just said? The brothers Chance Zimmerman said, if you keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of your God, you are telling him that you love him.
Come on.
You're telling God you love him. That's why I'm saying, like, we got to make it practical. You got children, okay? And your children do what you say in your mind, in your heart. Mine is your heart. In your mind, you are going to, when you lay in your bed at night, or when you just, you know, have a free moment to have, you know, peaceful thoughts to yourself, and you think about that child, you're going to say that child loves me. That child loves me. No matter what I tell that child to do, he does it. He stays diligent. She stays diligent. He does what I say on a consistent basis. Now, I'm not saying that the child may not do something wrong. It's a child. They need to learn, okay? But if the child was just straight up disobedient and never did anything you said, you would say in your mind, that child just hates me, hates everything I'm about, because he won't follow me. She won't follow me. Right?
God.
But if that child does what you say, then you're like, that child loves me. And I want to show how to love. Loving God is keeping the laws. This is the law class. And I'm so glad that I got this class, because like being in the truth to me, this obviously there's nothing bigger than the laws to me. You know what I mean? Like these laws it's everything. The whole Bible is about laws. And then you can look at the Bible and say, well, it's also about brotherhood. These laws are put in place so Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians would know how to treat one another and love one another. Okay? These records are for our learning and for us to know how to live in the earth. But it also comes down to being obedient, okay? And if you're obedient, you're saying to our power that you love him. And that to me is very, very, that's where I'm at in it. That's where I'm at. I want the Most High God to look at me and say, that child loves me. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I live for. To know in my mind that the Most High is looking at me and saying, that child loves me. That's what I strive for. Okay. So let's go to, let's grab a couple scriptures, okay? And just, get into it. Let's go to 2 John. Let's go to 2 John chapter 1. Second John chapter 1. And I guess just start at verse 6. Give me verse 6.
Okay.
Go ahead, Gabor.
The book of 2 John, chapter 1, verse 6. And this is love.
This is love. Now, I'm gonna ask you brothers right now before we get too deep in this class. When you're reading, try to go a little, you know what I mean? Take it easy, because I want everybody to taste it. Every word you say, I want them to taste it, okay? I want them to understand where we going with it. You understand? I want them to feel what we're trying to say. Now we're talking about our power, our God. Negroes in the earth have made God, how can I say this? They have made God to be their personal servant. Okay, they want to live in the earth and do whatever they want to do. And then when something goes wrong, they want to be able to call on God and have God to serve them and fix their problems. But they don't want to serve their God. They don't want to serve their Father. But they want the Father to rescue them every time something goes awry. Which is, just crazy to me. If you want him to be on your side, you should be a good servant. Okay? Then you can expect for him to be on your side. But if you are disobedient, how in the hell do you expect your power to be on your side? Read it from the top, Gabor.
Come on, sir. And this is love.
Keep going.
Come on, sir. That we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that as ye have heard from the beginning.
From the beginning. Like, today they want to say the laws are done away with. We're in the New Testament. Okay, this is just one whole book. This ain't two books. From the beginning, since Adam, from the beginning, from Genesis to Revelation, Our lives have been about laws, being obedient to a power, the invisible power that created the universe. That's our whole existence in life. That's what you're put on the earth for, to serve the power that created the universe, that created all mankind. That is our job. That's what we should be doing. If you want God to love you, you should love him. Keeping the laws is showing God that you love him. Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments is how you show the power that you love him. Not by singing, not by dancing, not by dreaming, not by saying you love him, but by doing something, being obedient. That's the one thing that Martin Luther King did not do. He marched, he preached, he loved white people, but he did not keep God's laws. He did not keep the Passover. He did not keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. He did not tell blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that God only loved them. How are we supposed to get out of the situation that we are in if we're being disobedient? We went into a covenant with our power. You either keep the laws and live, or not keep the laws and die. Keep reading.
Count on the con. Ye should walk in it. Verse 7. For many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist.
Right. You know who that's talking about. That's talking about the Jewish man, okay? But also our people, okay? Who don't teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to keep the laws, like Martin Luther King. Who teach our people that we should be equal to another nation, when our God say you're either going to be above them or below them. This book never says that we would be equal to anyone. It's not in here. So that's an antichrist. That's against what Christ taught. Christ never taught for his people to be equal with no one. He came so we would be on top, so you would have the opportunity to come back and serve your power after being born into sin, being born into celebrating birthdays, Halloween, 4th of July, Christmas. Now you get to change your life and celebrate the Passover. Now you get to change your life and stop being a homosexual. Now you get to change your life and come back and serve your God. That's what Christ came for. Okay? You brothers got any questions at any time or want to make a comment, just go ahead and say Salakia. Okay, we could drop that. Let's drop that one and go to, let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 16. This book is from Genesis to Revelation. It talks about nothing but laws. Nothing but laws, statutes, and commandments. It's a law that you treat your brother a certain way. Okay, that's why we call it brotherhood. It's a law that, you know what I mean, you love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians above any other people. Okay? It's a law that you not eat certain foods. This book is the manual of how black, Hispanics, and Native Indians are supposed to live in the earth. No other way can we live and be prosperous. We have to follow this manual, this book. What thou shalt and thou shalt not. This is the only way we should live in the earth. Without it, it's death. Without it, you're in the ghetto, the barrios, the reservation. Without it, you get killed by the police. Without it, you get, you know what I mean, racially profiled. These laws are everything. And if you care about your actual physical children, wife, and relatives, you would teach them and you would keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, because that's the only way we'll be safe in the earth. That's the only way we'll have peace. Is by the Most High being with us. Go ahead and read it. Salaki, Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 16.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
You want me to read it, or do you want the other troop to read it?
Go ahead.
Come on. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13, verse 16.
No, it's chapter 30, Salakia.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 16.
Right.
Come on. And that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God.
To love the Lord your God. Moses went up to the mountain. He got to see the hind parts of the Most High power. Moses was the middleman. Okay? Like there was one point when, you know, when the Most High tried to talk to us, and it was so scary, we say, "Now, Moses, you deal with the Lord, and we'll do whatever you say." See, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians don't know when they talk about they want, you know, to deal with God. That's not something you want to do. Okay, you deal with God, the power of the universe. You liable to die. Okay, read it again.
Come on. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 16. And that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God.
Moses is telling us to love the Most High power. Now let's see how, you know what I mean, what's the instructions on how to love God? Is it just talking about God, saying you love him? Is it going to a building, sitting in a pew, singing songs, jumping up and down, foaming at the mouth, falling out on the floor? Is it holding hands? Is it white people, you know, and black people holding hands, you know what I mean, trying to be, you know, equal? Let's see. Go ahead and read it.
Come on. To walk in his ways and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments.
Right. That's how you love God. Okay? To keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? And his laws, statutes, and commandments consist of things you should and should not do. Okay? Things you should and should not do, which include days you are supposed to observe. They're laid out in the book of Leviticus. There's days that the Most High gave us that is a commandment for us to keep and observe and do them. There's certain foods that he told us we cannot eat. There's certain foods that he told us we could eat. These are the laws, statutes, and commandments. Not loving other, you know what I mean? Like, one of the laws is to love thy neighbor as thyself. That neighbor is another Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, okay? Not a Chinese man or African or, you know what I mean? Or East Indian or Arab or the oppressor who rules the earth today. We are only supposed to love the 12 tribes, okay? That's how you love God. Keeping the commandments. The commandments are valid. Nowhere in this book does it say they're done away with. Keep reading. Go ahead. Go ahead, Carvel.
Oh, now if I may, sir, that's so heavy what you're saying, because you know, like all the other nation don't love us, and we always be the first one to love on every other nation.
You ain't lying. I mean, like it's an anomaly to me. How you don't have to tell Chinese people to love Chinese people. No, you don't see Chinese people, you know, gathering on the corner, telling their people to love one another. You don't see them in summits, you know, having, you know, revivals or stuff. They have to tell each other, you know, one another to love one another. They prefer one another. Chinese people naturally prefer Chinese people.
God.
East Indian people naturally prefer East Indian people. The Arabs naturally prefer the Arabs. The oppressor definitely naturally. Only time these other nations deal with, you know, Blacks, Hispanics, or Native Indians is to fulfill some kind of lust. You understand what I'm saying? Like they have a lustful, a sexual lust to deal with, you know, a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, or they want to, you know, use you to get drugs or something. You know what I mean? God. It's some kind of lust they're going to fulfill, and that's the only reason they deal with you. Their lustful desires, but to them, you're a second-class citizen. You're not on their level. They came down to your level just so they can fulfill their lustful desires. Okay? And what, man, that is, you're right, man. Like, nobody else has to tell their people to love one another except Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Now, I'm not saying that there's not going to be family disputes. All families have family disputes. You don't think there's Chinese on Chinese crime? Yeah, they kill one another. But when it comes to who they deal with, who they, you know what I mean, they prefer themselves. Do you understand?
God.
So of course we're going to have family disputes. Okay? It's in our history records. But we should still prefer each other. A Jamaican should prefer a Judite. A Judite should prefer an Iskarite. An Ephraimite should prefer a Reubenite. Okay? We should prefer one another. Whoever was reading, keep reading.
Con, sir.
We let them know where you at.
Con. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 16. You want me to start from the top again?
Go ahead.
Con. And that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God.
Well, if I could, Salakia, go ahead and read verse 15.
Sir.
We've been talking about this already, and it's right there in front of us, okay? Go ahead and let's read verse 15.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. Verse 16. And that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God.
Right. So, you know what I mean? The Most High has set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. Okay? Life is what's good for us, obviously. Death is that evil. You don't think the Most High does evil? He controls everything. Okay? If you do evil, you're going to get evil. Okay? Keep reading.
To walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments.
All of it. The statutes, the judgments. You see that? The judgments is what?
Salaki.
Go ahead.
Slock it, sir.
Go ahead.
Punishment?
It can be, yeah, definitely punishments. Yeah. But sometimes it can be judgment, can be in your favor. Especially if you are, you know what I mean, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, if you got brotherhood, and I feel like, you know what I mean, something went down, and you know what I mean, I incurred a loss because of something you did, and I take you to counsel. I take you before, you know, the elders. They could rule in my favor. But this is the judgments. You know what I'm saying? This is the brotherhood. This is us, you know, preferring one another, dealing with each other and righteously, keeping the laws. Instead of me exacting judgment on my own, I go and, you know what I mean, keep the laws like the Most High has it set up. These judgments, but they can definitely go against you. You know what I mean? You not eating, you know, what the Lord told you to eat. There's a judgment behind that. Okay, it's called high blood pressure, diabetes.
Right.
Okay, you not, you know, being heterosexual. There's a judgment behind that. It's called monkeypox and AIDS. Okay, it's the judgment. We got to keep these laws, man. We are not supposed to be a lawless people. Who the hell lives in the earth lawless? If the church is saying that the laws are done away, if anybody is saying the laws are done away with, do you know what that means? What does that mean? The law is done away with.
Salakia, sir, you could do whatever you want to do. There's no
government. Whatever the hell you want to do. I can murder. I can kill. You know what I mean? I think I said it last. I can, you know, kill people, put their heads on top of my car, and just drive down the street with heads on the top of my car. The laws are done away with. That's not true. Okay, our God, our power, that never intended us to be a lawless people. Okay, we have laws that govern our lives. Like I said before, we can't get away from these laws. Just like, you know, in this society, you can't get away from Esau's laws. Try to just never stop at the stop sign. It's going to be a judgment. The judgment's either going to be you're going to be in a horrible accident, or you're going to get, you know, fines. But there's going to be a judgment. That's the same thing with our power. It's practical. It's common sense. We got to keep the laws that he established in the earth. He gave them to us. He went into a covenant with us, with the 12 tribes, with Israel, and nobody else. Okay? Keep reading, God of War.
Come on, Con, sir. That thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Right. So whether thou goest to possess it. So no matter what land you live in, you are supposed to be keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Whether you're in the ghetto or whether you are in rulership. Whatever land you possess, wherever you live, these laws shall be followed. Okay? They shall be done. Okay? That word shall is right there. Shall. Not maybe, not probably, not if you feel like it, not if you're having a good day. So let's drop that, okay? You get a couple more on these laws, and then maybe we'll go into the covenant. Let's go to, did we do Luke? Luke 14?
Nah, sir.
All right, let's do that. Let's see what Luke 14 talking about. Let's see what this brother got to say about these laws. These righteous brothers, they got books, okay? These brothers, you can trust them, what they have to say about it. Let's go to Luke 14. Luke 14 and 26. Let's start at 25.
Come on, Con, sir.
Luke chapter 14, verse 25. You got it, Carvel?
Yeah, I got it, sir.
Go ahead. The water, Gabor.
Luke 14, verse 25. And there went great multitudes with him. And he turned and said unto them, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sister, ye and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
Right. That's very heavy. Like, that's okay. Keeping these laws, like I said, is the only choice you have. You're either going to keep the laws or you're not. Okay? And Christ is saying, if any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sister, yea, in his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. So we all say we follower of Christ, right? The church, boy, is full of brothers and sisters that say they follow Christ. They love some Jesus, right? Well, here's the point. You have to do what Jesus did. You have to do what Yahushua did. Okay? And it's going to be rough. I meet brothers all the time. I'm dealing with a brother now, and he wants to come into the school, but his rib is fighting him on it. And I told him, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be ready to lose her. That's rough for brothers to hear. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready to lose your mama, your children, your rib, your husband. You got to be ready to let them go, to show the Most High power that you love him and not yourself. Because if you don't choose to serve God over choosing to serve your wife, you're saying you love your wife more than God. You're saying you love your children more than you say you love God because you just have to buy them a Christmas present. You have to do it, or they're going to hate you, right? Well, let them hate you. You should serve God. You should love God more than you love them. That's rough, I know. It's hard, but it's it's reality. I got to love God more than I love my mama. She's not getting a birthday present. She's not getting a Mother's Day present. It ain't happening. But what she, you know what I mean? Like, we can still show our people we love them, but you're not supposed to do it when the oppressor says you're supposed to do it. Just do it whenever you feel like doing it. You got 365 days a year to do it. But if you do it on Valentine's Day, then you don't love God. You love the oppressor. You love your wife. You love your mama. Okay? And that's just what it is. That's the truth. Read it again.
Luke 14:26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sister, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple.
Guess what? Here's something heavy. If y'all remember, how many people did Christ feed with them few fish and little bread? How many people did he feed?
Sir, I don't remember the exact number, but it was a lot.
Do you know Gabor?
Lies, sir.
It was about 5,000 people.
Most High Christ.
He had 5,000 followers. Guess what? Guess what happened to those 5,000? They chose their own. They chose their mama. They chose their wife and their husband and their children over Christ. Because when Christ was put on the cross, he only had 10 brothers rolling with him. I want to say 10, you know what I mean, because of Judas, but it was 11, but you know what I mean? Or 12 or whatever, but that's why it's telling you right here in verse 25. That's what it's saying. And there went a great multitude with him. They were following Christ. Everything was good when Christ was healing the sick, getting them off drugs, curing the blind. It was all good. But when it was time for them to sacrifice eating pork, they turned around and went back home. When it was time for them to not celebrate Christmas, they turned around and went back home. They chose themselves. And Christ said, if you choose yourself, you cannot be his disciple. If you choose, you know what I mean, your father or your mother, your wife, children, brethren, sister, yea, in your own life, you can't be his disciple. They chose death, Carvel. They chose death.
God.
They chose death. Because look, that's where we at today. We're still in that death that they chose 2,000 years ago. They didn't choose Christ. But we got a chance to come back and get it right. 2023, we got a chance to get it right. We got a chance to come back and serve the Most High Power. Okay?
Con, sir.
Keep reading.
Luke 14:27. And whosoever doeth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
You know what that's saying?
Salakia, sir. Would that be your problem, your burdens?
Yes. Yes. Whatever you're fighting, you know, some people got an addiction to pork. Some people got an addiction to marijuana. Some people got an addiction to crack. If you don't bear that cross, fight it, you know what I mean, and not give into it, and you can't follow Christ. You can't roll with Christ and smoke weed. You know what I mean? You can't do it. You can't roll with Christ and eat a pork chop sandwich. You can't roll with Christ and have an alternative lifestyle. You got to bear that cross. You got to fight your flesh. Okay? You got to fight your flesh and not give into your own lust, your own desire, your own taste buds. And do what Christ did. Go to the Passover. Keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Love your brother like you love yourself. Serve the Most High. You understand what I'm saying?
God.
These laws is everything, man. And Christ was the ultimate example on how to keep the laws. He broke them down to the bone gristle. He kept them to the T, to the dotting of the I and the crossing of the T. Okay, that's what Christ did. All right, let's drop that one. Okay. Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 9. I told you all over this book is nothing but laws, statutes, and commandments. And I'm just giving you a few examples. Okay, that's all I'm doing tonight. It's just bringing out a few examples and touching on a few things to show you should be keeping these laws. To show you that you should choose your God, your power. As a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Choose who chose you. God chose you. Now you should choose him instead of choosing yourself. Don't choose yourself. Don't choose your mama. Don't choose your wife. Don't choose your husband. Don't choose your children. Choose the Most High. Choose Christ. Okay? Whoever got Daniel 9 and verse 4 can go ahead and read it.
Slack, sir.
Go ahead.
Daniel 9:4. And I pray unto the Lord, I pray unto the Most High Power, and made my confession, and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God.
That's what I'm talking about. See, when Christ came onto the scene, Christ kind of changed the perspective of our power. Because Christ came back, the Most High sent Christ back to give you a second chance to come back and serve him. So Christ is like, man, your father is very, how can I say it? What's the word? Forgiving, okay? He's going to allow you to come back and serve him, but I got to die for what you didn't know. For what you didn't know you was doing wrong, I'm going to die for it. You didn't know celebrating Christmas was wrong. I'm going to die for that. I'm going to take your penalty, and then now you get to come back to serve God. That's a merciful father. But in the Old Testament, Daniel, all the way from from Adam up to Daniel, Ezekiel, all these brothers, he was a dreadful power, and he still is, but he's also merciful. And we need to understand that mercy that he's showing to us and come back, take advantage of it. He's giving you the advantage in the earth. You have the upper hand. All you got to do is keep law, statutes, and commandments, and you will be the ruling class people.
If I may, sir.
That dreadful power has become compassionate to you, Negro, Hispanic, Native Indian. Go ahead, brother.
If I may, sir, and is that why the oppressor, the devil, keep us so deep in sinning against our power? Because they know what time it is, when we turn to our God. Okay, so the oppressor, all he does is listen to Lucifer, Satan. Okay, that spirit, that's what they listen to. They don't know shit. They're dumb as a box of rocks, but they listen to Satan, and Satan tell them to hate you, to kill you in the streets, to oppress you. That's what they was created for. Okay. Satan also tells you to smoke weed and sleep with whores and be homosexual and choose your wife and children over the Most High. Now it's up to you if you're going to listen to Satan or not. That's the fight. That's that cross you got to bear. That's the struggle. Okay? God.
That's the fight. Read it from the top.
Daniel 9:4 from the top. And I pray unto the Most High power, and made my confession, and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful power.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Every time you say it, to me it sounds wonderful. I love it because he will kill everybody for you. He's a dreadful power. He did it before. He killed the Egyptians. When we first came out of Egypt, he killed the Egyptians. He killed the Africans and wiped them off the land and put us in the land. He killed everybody for us, man. He's a dreadful power if we keep his laws, if we do what he's saying. We don't have to fight wars. Our God does it for us. Keep reading.
Keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him.
Man, and what is it to love God?
If I may,
How do you
sir,
love God?
Keep the commandment.
That's it. Okay? That's it. The great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him. That covenant. The covenant, man, we can get the covenant, okay? When we came out of Egypt and Moses went up to the mountain and came down and he had the agreement. Moses had the contract, the covenant. And he told us the contract and covenant. He gave us the covenant and we agreed to it. The covenant is you keep God's laws, you are on top. You don't keep the laws, you are on the bottom. That's the covenant. That's the contract. Now, there's one side of the contract. If you love God, keep the commandments, you're on top. The other side of the contract is you choose yourself. You love your wife. You love crack. You love whores. You love homosexuality. You choose all that, then you're on the bottom. That's death. Okay? You understand?
Con, sir.
Keep reading.
And them that keep his commandments. 5. We have sinned and have committed iniquity and have done wickedly and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments.
Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. The judgments, okay? The judgments like we talked about earlier. We got away from the judgments, okay? The precepts was in the scrolls that told you what the judgments was. We got away from everything, and we started doing something else. We started choosing ourselves. We started choosing the other nations. We started choosing, Christmas and Valentine's Day, homosexuality, marijuana. We start choosing that stuff, man. And it's telling you right here, we have sinned. Sin is transgression of the law. Sin is not keeping the law. Let's drop that, okay? These laws are everything, man. We can't get away from it. We can't get around it. Let's go to the book of 1 John. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Just thought about something. Let's go to Exodus chapter 24 and verse 7. Exodus 24 and 7. Look like we lost Gabba War. Gabba War, you there? Oh, hold on.
Salakia.
Gabba War, can you hear me?
Con, sir.
Okay, Most High in Christ. Let's get Exodus chapter 24 and verse 7.
Con.
Okay, this is why we have to keep these laws. Okay. The Most High Power that created the universe, he decided he wanted to deal with the 12 tribes. Okay, he chose us. And we chose him. We said, cool. You know what I mean? Sounds right to me, what you're saying. We saw the upside of it. Rulership? Yeah, that sounds about right to me. What's it gonna take? Just following some rules? Following some laws? What you call them? Laws? Statutes? Judgments? Okay, I'm with that. Roll it. Run it.
Yeah, all right.
Well, let's see what the covenant, you know what I mean? Let's read the agreement we went into with the power of the universe, the power of the fourth dimension that we can't see. Okay?
God.
That rules the third dimension. Where we at? Exodus 24 and 7.
Con.
Go ahead.
The book of Exodus, chapter 24, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people.
Right. The audience of the people is our family. Okay, it wasn't 12 tribes then. Okay. But you know what I mean? It's our family. Okay. Was it 12 tribes? Yeah, it was the 12 tribes. Okay, right. We were already established as a family. Okay, read it from the top.
Con. The book of Exodus, chapter 24, verse 7. And he took the book of the covenant.
He took the book of the covenant, the agreement. Okay, the power only dealt with Moses. He didn't deal with everybody else. He didn't deal with your mama. You know, he didn't deal with, you know, the homosexual pastor. He only dealt with Moses. He dealt with Moses. Moses had the book. Moses had the agreement, the contract. Okay? And he had to read it to the people. That's how the Most High dealt with the people. And it's the same way today. That's how God deals with you, Negro, Hispanic, Native Indian, by commanding General Yohana. General Yohana tell the brothers under him what it is, and we tell you. Okay? Read it.
Khan. And read in the audience of the people. And they said.
And they what?
And they said.
Okay.
All that the Lord have said will we do.
That's it, man. See, we just went right here. Right here, this is it. We're still dealing with this today. We're still dealing with this today. 2023, and this is what we're dealing with. Right here is what we're reading. This is where you at, Negro. This is your life. This is your life. You agreed. You was told this covenant. You was told the agreement, and you agreed. Now you in it. You're in it. Can't get out. You're either on one side of the covenant or you're on the other side of it. But you're in the covenant. We agreed to this thing, man. And why be on the bottom when you can be on the top? Okay? Man, these precepts are heavy, man. I can't, music to my ears. Read it from the top.
Khan. The book of Exodus, chapter 24, verse 7. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people, and they said, all that the Lord has said will we do, and be obedient.
Come on, man. We're supposed to be obedient. We're supposed to be lawful people. Check it out, man. Wow. God reward. When you're reading this, I'm picturing it in my mind. Y'all got to picture it, man. Moses got a book. You know what I mean? He's got a book. And he's in front of, just imagine being at the fairground or something, like somewhere where there's like a hill. And below you, all the people are down there. And you're reading to them, and they all agree. Say, we're going to do it. We'll be obedient. And we stopped doing it. We stopped doing it, man. And now we're in the ghetto. Now we had to come over here on slave ships. We went from rulership to slave ships. That's crazy. Keep reading.
Khan. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord have made with you concerning all these words.
That sealed the deal. We went into a blood covenant. Okay? That sealed it. That sealed it, man. You know how you put that stamp on something? You write, you know what I mean? You sign, the other person sign, then they put that stamp on there. That blood was the stamp. The blood was the seal. That's it, man. The deal is sealed. We're supposed to be keeping laws. We are in a contract with a power that created the universe. Negroes went into a contract with a power that created the universe. We went into a contract, man. That this place, we reside in, this dimension that we live in, that he rules, he said we could be the ruling class people on this planet. But we have to keep the laws. I dare anybody to show me where it says we went into a covenant that the Lord said, you know, you're out of the covenant. You're out of the agreement. The contract is void. Where is that in the Bible? Where is that at?
If I may, sir.
You're right, April. That's it. Since 1969, this school has been telling Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to change their life and come back, you know what I mean, and get on the right side of this agreement. Get in line, okay? Change your life. Get in order. There's a way you're supposed to live in the earth. And as long as you're not doing it, you're going to be on the other end of this agreement. Life or death, okay? Go ahead, Carvel.
If I may, sir. Khan, sir. He said he changed not. So that covenant should gonna always be Israel.
That's it, man. Christ said it out of his own mouth. You know, you okay? Christ said it out of his own mouth. He said, think not that I have come to do away with the law. To heaven and earth pass, to the sky above you pass away. There is no more sky. There is no more space. To the earth that you're standing on passes away and is gone. Not one jot or one tittle is done away with the law. We're in this covenant, man. We're in this agreement. And you know what I mean? We just gotta just face reality, man. Face reality. You're in a contract with God. You're out of order right now. The contracts say you're supposed to be doing this. You're supposed to be building a nation. And you're over here, you know what I mean, holding up another nation. You're over here supporting another nation. When you're supposed to be building your own. Okay?
Khan.
Keep reading, Gabor.
Khan. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel.
See that? It was Moses. Check this out. Moses. So today you can say it's Commanding General Yohana. Aaron. You can say General Mahiman, right? Nadab. General, what's the other general? Under Mahiman. General Mahiman.
General Mayak, sir.
Mayaka Allah, okay, and then Adahu would be
General Haas.
General Haas, okay, and then 70 of the elders of Israel, the captains and officers. You know what I'm saying? It's right here, man. What Moses was doing 4,000 years ago is what we are starting to do right here in 2023, man. We are trying to follow God's law. We're picking up where Moses left off. How's that? Okay, and we're telling you the covenant and the agreement. Keep reading.
Khan. Verse 10. And they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were, the body of heaven in his clearness.
Okay, so I'll try to break this down how I can remember it was broken down to me. So they didn't see, actual heaven appear out of the fourth dimension or whatever. But what they saw was, just imagine, okay, here's a good example. God of War.
Call him sir.
What does it look like when you go to the Passover?
Sir. Outside of the beautiful setup, you see all the children of Israel coming in from different parts of the world and the country, sir.
Right, but what is that? What does that look like?
Heaven, sir.
Yes, the kingdom of heaven. Niggas getting along, no argument, no fighting, everybody loving each other. That's what it looked like when we went into that covenant. They just looked at, the ranking order, Moses, Aaron, the other generals, the captains, you know what I mean? Going into this agreement with God. Nigga, that shit look like heaven, dog.
Damn right, sir.
Black rulership.
Right.
Okay? That's like the best way I can describe it to you when they say they saw heaven. You know what I mean? That shit looked wonderful. Niggas ruling the earth. That's heaven. In your eyes, that should be heaven. Not voting for some oppressor to oppress you. You understand what I'm saying? But serving the Most High God and letting Him put over top of you who He chose. And that's Christ, our brother, our King. Okay?
Khan, sir.
That's heaven. But how do we get that heaven? By keeping this covenant that we just went into in the year 2023. Okay? We're in a contract, man. We have an obligation. You got an obligation to yourself, to your wife, your husband, your children, your mother, your father, your brothers, your sister. You got an obligation to keep these laws just as well as they do so we can get the heck out of hell. Okay?
God.
Go ahead, keep reading, God of War. No, I tell you what, drop that.
Come.
This book is wonderful. This book is wonderful, man. Let's go to the book of Romans, okay? Let's go to the book of Romans. See what Paul got to say about this covenant that we in with the Most High Power. What Paul talking, what his take on it is, okay? What's his take on this covenant? How he feel about this covenant that we went into, 5,000 years ago, 4,000 years ago, or whatever. Yeah, Romans 9:4. Romans 9:4. All right, go ahead and start at go ahead and start at verse 3.
Come, sir. The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh.
Right. This is Paul. Paul loved blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Paul loved Negroes. Okay? Paul loved the 12 tribes. Paul loved him some, Ephraimites and Manasseites and Gadites and Reubenites and Asherites and, Simeonites, Benjaminite. Paul was a Benjamin. Okay? But Paul loved him some Negroes. And he felt, like he felt the pain of his brothers and sisters. And he's saying, I wish I'll take the curse from Christ. I'll take it. Just so these Negroes can get out of this situation, man. Just so they can get out the ghetto. Just so they'll stop loving the oppressor. You don't think we was loving the oppressor in Rome and Ephesians and Galileo? You don't think we was loving them oppressors? We were loving them just like we love them today. Okay? And Paul said, man, we jammed up behind it. I'll take the curse, man. If it'll get my brothers out of this, you know what I mean? If it'll get us out of this hell, I'll take the curse. And I feel the same way, man. I'll take it. If it means Negroes get up out of these ghettos and, you know what I mean, stop loving the oppressor and love one another and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, I'll take it. Anytime, any day. And that's why I'm here. Keep reading.
Caught on one, sir. Verse 4. Who are Israelites?
Who are who?
Israelites.
Who are what?
Israelites.
Right. Who are Israelites? That's who he'll take the curse for. Not Edom. Nobody else. Not Ham. But who are Israelites? The 12 tribes. Keep reading.
To whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises.
All these things were given to us. All these things were given to us from the moment we went into that covenant with our power. Okay? All the things we went through. The promise that the Lord will take us back once we, you know what I mean, stop keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. We've been through a lot, man. Our family has been through a lot. We've been through a lot, man. All because we went off and stopped keeping these laws, man. We've been through a lot. And the Lord still chose us. Keep reading.
Verse 5. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, who is over all, God bless forever. Amen.
Right. So be it. Okay. So be it. Paul loved Negroes, man. Just like Commanding General Yohana do. Okay. Enough to, you know, come out here and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, establish a government, build our nation, okay? Do whatever it takes to build our nation, our family, okay? To whom are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, and the glory, and the covenants, the agreements, okay? The agreements that agreement that we read in Exodus only pertained to Israelites and nobody else. That covenant is only for Hispanics, so-called Native Indians, so-called Jamaicans, so-called Haitians, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Mexicans, Negroes. That covenant is yours. And only you, according to the flesh, you can't be converted to be an Israelite. It's according to the flesh. You got to be born in this family. You have to be born in this family, man. And if you are, you have an obligation to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Y'all understand what I'm saying?
Khan, sir.
Very important. that you teach your family and your household to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Choose these laws over your mama, over your wife, over your children, over your husband, over your brothers, over your sisters. You got to choose these laws, statutes, and commandments. I know it sounds rough, and it might get rough, but that's what you got to do. Okay? You can't give in. You can't do nothing but these laws, statutes, and commandments. You got to be a strong brother. You got to, if you're not strong, who the hell's going to be strong for us? Okay?
Con.
If you don't do it, if you don't listen, your family might not know it, but you keeping these laws, you trying to save their life. You trying to give them a kingdom. Okay? Okay, you can drop that. Most High in Christ. Let's go to Isaiah. Okay? Back and forth, and it's all over, man. Everywhere in this book is about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. Isaiah chapter 11. This book is talking to you, man. This book is talking to you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. This covenant is yours. These laws are for you. Rulership is for you. You just got to take it. All you have to do is take it. Okay, so give me the book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 10.
I don't talk, sir. Got it.
Go ahead.
Isaiah 11, verse 10. And in the day there shall be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentile seeks, and his rest shall be glorious.
Right. Okay, and that in the day there shall be a root of Jesse. Okay, we're talking about a bloodline here, like we just talked about, okay, over in the book of Romans, flesh, according to the flesh. Okay. It's a family, a bloodline, okay? Jesse is King David's granddad, okay? And then, you know what I mean? So, and then, you know, that's where Christ's bloodline is, directly from King David, okay? So we talking about a family here, a bloodline, okay? Which shall stand for an ensign of the people, okay? This is what we're going to look to, okay? Just like today, you know what I mean? Christ came, okay, and laid it down flat for us, okay? So now this is who we look up to. Our brother, our King Yahushua, okay? And it says right here, this is heavy, okay? To it shall the Gentile seek. So what is that saying? The Gentile to this ensign, to this brother who in this bloodline, okay, that the Most High is going to send, to it shall the Gentile seek, and his rest shall be glorious. Okay? The rest that this brother give the Gentiles that seek him shall be glorious. What is that saying? To it shall the Gentiles seek. Is that talking about the other nations? That talking about African people? East Indian people? Is that talking about the Arabs? The oppressor? Who are these Gentiles?
If I may, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Israelites, Black, Hispanic, Native American.
So why is it calling them Gentiles?
Because they they were living like the Gentiles, keeping the Gentile ways, the heathen ways.
No, you're correct. You're right on it. Okay. Okay. Now, okay, there's two types of Gentiles. There's an actual Gentile, and then there's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who live like Gentiles. Okay? Like you say, keep their ways. Celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Valentine's Day, New Year's, birthdays. Okay? Calling themselves African Americans, calling themselves Puerto Ricans, calling themselves Mexicans. These Gentiles we're talking about right here today, they call themselves Haitians and Jamaicans. These are the Gentiles that this ensign was sent for, okay? Keep reading.
Khan, sir. 11, verse 6. Isaiah 11, verse 6. And it shall come to pass in that day.
No. Where you at? 11 and 11?
I was at 11 and 11. Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Let them know where you at.
Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the island of the sea.
There it is, right there. Just laid it flat for you. These Gentiles are blacks, the 12 tribes, okay, that were living in other lands, calling themselves Egyptians, Assyrians, following the ways of the Africans, the Cush, okay, following the ways of the East Indians, the Elams, okay. And the Most High, when that ensign comes, then he is going to set his hand, okay, a second time to recover the remnant of his people. Why does he have to cover a remnant of his people? I'll tell you. Go ahead. Why does the Most High have to recover a remnant of his people?
Go ahead, sir.
Right, because he cast us to the four ends of the earth. Okay, we went into punishment. We went into slavery. We went into Egypt. We went into servitude of the other nations. But the Lord is going to recover us again. And that's, you know what I mean? That's what's happening right now today in 2022, 23. It's time for our family to come back to these laws. Okay? Since 1969, the Lord has been putting his spirit back into the earth, recovering the remnant of his people. Okay? And we're building this nation one brick at a time, right before your eyes, whether you can see it or not. Keep reading.
Isaiah 11, verse 12. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
See, there you go. Just laid it flat for you. Okay.
God.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations. The day that ensign is Commanding General Yohanan, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Okay. We teach Christ. Okay. We teach a black king named Yahushua. Okay. And here it is, and shall assemble the outcast of Israel. Okay. We're the outcasts in the earth. We are the hated. Okay. And gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Man, we everywhere. Believe it or not, it's some Judites over there in Africa today. You know what I mean? I know it's probably hell over there for us, boy. Wherever we at over there, boy, that is probably hell. Like, I mean, hell like you don't know. It ain't like we ain't in hell over here in America. But goddamn, to be under them piss-drinking Africans. Good night. Okay?
Khan, sir.
Nigga, call yourself. Boy, look at here. That's got to be something else. So let's drop that one. Let's go to the book of Hebrews. Let's see what book of Hebrews. Hebrews. Chapter 8. Chapter 8. Let's see, Bubbly. 8.
Slagia, sir.
Go ahead.
Verse 7.
Give me 6.
Come.
No sign of Christ, the water.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 6. But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry, by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant.
Ooh-wee. That's why Christ said, you know, no man can come to the Father but through him. He's the mediator now, not Moses. Okay? Christ is the mediator. He gave his life. Okay? He took the punishments that you deserve. He came and laid down these laws, statutes, and commandments and kept them perfectly. So now we say in the name of Christ, right? Because Yahushua took that punishment that was meant for you and me, the death that we should have received for celebrating Christmas and birthdays. Yahushua, your big brother, took it. So now you got to come through him and say, Christ, I'm going to serve, you know what I mean? I'm going to be just like you. I'll be your disciple. Okay? So I can get back into this covenant. I'm going to keep this covenant with you. Just like you did it. Not one dot or one tittle should pass away from the law to all be fulfilled. We got to keep all these laws, all the judgments, all the statutes. Okay? Because we're in a covenant with a power that created the fourth and third dimension, the whole universe. He created the sky and the earth, the volcanoes, the sea. We went into a covenant with that power. Keep reading.
Khan, which was established upon better promises. Verse 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. Verse 8. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel
With
and with the
who?
house of Judah.
With the house of who?
Israel and the house of Judah.
Right. According to the flesh. Okay. This is who God, this is who gets the new covenant. This who gets the covenant. According to the flesh. The house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Okay, because at one point we were divided. We still divided, man, but it was serious. You know, at one point it was all the so-called, you know, it was like what, 9.5 tribes against 2.5 tribes. You know what I'm saying? But the Lord is saying, with this new covenant, we all get in. If you're in the bloodline, okay? This is who the covenant is to: blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is who the laws were given to. These people are the ones that have the obligation to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. These people are the only people on the planet that these laws, statutes, and commandments affect. Okay? The Israelites, the lost 12 tribes. Keep reading.
Salaki, sir. You said keep reading?
Go ahead. Yep.
Karawakan, Salaki. Verse 9. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt.
Yeah, see, we read about that covenant. We read about that covenant in the book of Exodus. Okay. But now you know what I mean? Like this, you know what I'm saying? It's a new covenant now. You get to come back.
Right.
Because we walked away from the contract. We broke the contract. But now, like we just read earlier, you know what I mean? That covenant wasn't, you know what I mean? Like he found fault in us with that covenant. With this new covenant, we are going to rule the earth forever.
That's right.
Okay?
God.
With this new covenant, you know what I mean? Game over once we get ourselves together. Okay? And start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments again. But it's up to you, Gobble War. It's up to you, Carvel, to go out here and wake our people up. It's a job. It's a commitment. It starts at home. Get your house together. Okay, and then we go out here and wake up the rest of our people. Okay? You brothers understand?
Karawakan, sir.
Khan, sir.
Right. Most High in Christ. Where we at? Hebrews. Let me get one more. Let's go to any more on that. Gobble War, keep reading.
Karawakan, sir. Because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord.
Right. When we did not, man, that is, whoo. Do you understand what the Most High just said to you? All right. Because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said it the Most High. There was basically, when we did not keep our part of the contract, the Lord did not care about us. That's why we got destroyed. He didn't care about us. He turned his back on us. But here it is, 2023, there's an ensign, okay, that now we get to come back and he will care for us again, okay? All we got to do is come. Now there's a new covenant through Yahushua, his death. Now we come back and follow him, and we get rulership again. You understand?
Khan, sir.
Most High Christ. So we drop that. Let's go to Daniel. Let me get the book of Daniel, chapter 9. Okay. See what my man Dan got to say about it. These hardcore brothers telling other brothers and sisters about this terrible power that we serve. Okay? And the covenant that we went into with him. Where we at? Daniel 9:4.
Khan, sir. The book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 4. And I prayed unto the Lord my God, and made my confession, and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God.
That's it, man. Keep going.
Keeping the covenant and the mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments.
Right. I think we read this earlier already.
Khan, sir.
Yeah, we read. Okay, no sweat. All right. That's it for me. I'm dropping the mic.
Most High Christ, sir.
I appreciate y'all brothers coming and helping me, get this word, let Black Hispanics and Native Indians know, you know what I mean? Like, we have an obligation to change our lives. That's what this whole thing is about, Gobble War. This whole thing is about changing your life, man. Doing something different than what you did before. No more smoking weed. No more popping pills. No more sleeping with whores. No more being homosexual. No more eating whatever you want to eat. No more choosing your wife over the Most High power. No more choosing your husband over the Most High power. No more choosing your children over the Most High power. No more loving the other nations over your brothers and sisters. It's all about coming back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, okay? This covenant that we went into, that we can't get out of. The agreement. And it boils down to you changing your life and getting other Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to change their lives, okay? And that's what the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge has been teaching God's chosen people since 1969. Okay, with that, I'm going to say shalom. Also, listen, Passover, right? We got the Passover coming up. I hope everybody is being diligent, okay, and making your plans to be in Raleigh, North Carolina, April 1st, and join your brothers and sisters in celebrating, okay, and remembering how God killed the Egyptians to get us out of slavery and killed everybody else and put us in a land, you know what I mean, and chose us, okay? And then we went into a covenant with him, okay? So the Passover is about remembering what your power did for you and knowing that he can do it for you again, okay? All we got to do is come back to these laws, man. So listen. Go to isupk.com, pay your Passover fee. Okay, so that's important because listen, it takes monetary help to get that convention center we got out there and to run that black party and do all these other things we got planned, to celebrate the Most High killing the Egyptians. Okay. If you can't do it, go ahead and get with your camp leader, get with a brother in your zone and explain your situation, and we'll make it happen. But other than that, you are required to be at the Passover. That's keeping the law. Y'all understand?
That's right.
Come on, sir.
That's keeping the law, okay? So with that, I'm going to salute y'all brothers out, okay? Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakathum.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Okay, to the sisters, Yahweh Shemal Alathan Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, 1 West 125th Street under Commanding General Yohana. Clap it up. I'll get with y'all brothers Friday, okay, same channel. We'll Officer Itazal will be running the Hebrew Lashawan Kadash class, okay? So tune in with that brother. You know, take back your language, your heritage, and your culture, okay? And with that, shalom.
Shalom.
All right. The water get to you, brothers.
The water, sir.
Mm-hmm.